Hello everyone, and welcome to my Lee Enfield restoration video review. In this video I will be talking a little bit about the restoration of this particular World War II battle rifle, as well as some of the upgrades that I made along the way. What you have here in front of you is the Lee Enfield No. 4 Mark I. This particular rifle was made in 1944, and the No. 4 variant of the Lee Enfield began production about 1939 and was officially adopted by the British and the Commonwealth forces in 1941. It was invented by a man named James Paris Lee and first produced in 1895 in Enfield, England, so hence the name Lee Enfield. I'll go ahead and give you guys a little close-up of this rifle and kind of walk you through the restoration process that I completed, and hopefully this will help you guys who are thinking about doing a restoration, and I'll give you some tips along the way. The first thing I did is I stripped the entire gun because it is caked with cosmoline when it's pulled out of storage, and the last owner pretty much left it with just tons and tons of gunk and cosmoline all over it, and the cosmoline really just gets in every little nook and cranny in here. So the only real way to get all of the cosmoline out, I know there's a lot of people who tried like the hair dryer method and just taking a toothbrush or something in there. It's really not going to get all the cosmoline out, because the cosmoline gets way down into the receiver, into the trigger mechanism. When you take this thing apart, you'll find it just caked everywhere. So if your goal is to really restore a battle rifle to its original condition, you are going to need to completely disassemble the rifle. And disassembly with the Lee Enfield is pretty straightforward. One tool you will need is a long flathead screwdriver, like you see here. This screwdriver is probably about 18 or so inches long, and the reason why you need that is because the receiver is connected to the buttstock here, and you need to be able to fit that screwdriver all the way to about this point on the stock in order to back off the bolt that's holding the receiver to the buttstock. So it kind of operates like so, and it's a little an interesting design. The rifle stock itself has 5 different parts to it, right? So you have your buttstock, you have your lower receiver stock, upper barrel receiver stock, and then you have your forward 2 pieces right here, upper and lower stock wrapping around the barrel here. So it's kind of nice because when you shoot a few boxes of ammo through this, the barrel really does heat up, and so you can still handle the rifle grabbing it up here. But anyways, once you get the rifle stripped down to its bare essentials, put all the metallic parts in one bin and then all the stock pieces in another. And what I did at that point is just boil all the metallic pieces with some simple green, and that worked very, very well. I had tried the mineral spirits, and it just wasn't cutting the cosmoline off as well, or as I wanted it to. So boiling it worked very well for me. And then I also boiled the wood itself. Just poured some boiling simple green solution onto the stock. Just boiled some water and then actually dumped the simple green onto the stock itself, and then poured the water on it. Just kind of made a solution, and all the cosmoline bubbled up to the surface pretty well. And after that, just let it dry for a night, sanded it with some 200 grit sandpaper, and then started applying the stain. So after you boil the stock, all of the cosmoline, the natural oils in the wood, tungsten oil or whatever was applied originally from the factory, as well as any other dirt in the wood, comes to the surface and is washed away. And I just washed it away using a sponge. But anyways, so then I let it dry and applied some of this finish right here. This is the Minwax English Chestnut. You know, thought it would be appropriate for an English rifle, and applied about 4 coats of that, and then moved on to some Tru-oil gunstock finish. And this Tru-oil, you know, once you put the oil on the wood stock, that's when it really kind of comes together and gets that nice shiny finish, and seals the stain in there. So the Tru-oil was great. You know, on the directions it did recommend to use some steel wool, and I found that the steel wool would shred into various particles during the in between coats, and you know, so in between your Tru-oil coats, the steel wool didn't really work for me because I didn't want to have to you know, search for every little tiny steel particle that was stuck on the finish. So I just used some 600 grit sandpaper and wet sanded the stock in between Tru-oil coats, and I put about 2 to 3 coats of the Tru-oil. So that was pretty much it for the wood refinishing, and then reassembled the rifle. And a couple of upgrades I did during the reassembly process. First, I replaced the front sight because I took this rifle out previously to the desert to shoot it to see if it you know, if it even grouped well, and it was shooting very, very high. Once I did hold under, it shot exceptionally well, especially for a 70-year-old rifle. However, I found a company that sells replacement front sight posts as a set, and was very happy with locating them. You see their business card here is DS Solutions Militaria, and their website is, I don't know if the camera can focus on that, but it's ds-solutions.co.uk. And what they did is they sold a front sight post set that goes all the way from minus 0.15 inches tall to plus, I believe, 0.90 inches tall. So I put the largest front sight post on there, and each 0.15 measurement change will equate to 2 inches at 100 yards. Point of impact, lowering your point of impact by 2 inches at 100 yards. So put the largest front sight post on there possible, because, you know, guys, these battle rifles are designed for longer range shooting. They're zeroed from the factory at like 300 yards with this rear peep sight right here. So I really won't be shooting it that far. It is pretty hard to hit something beyond 300 yards with iron sights, at least with these sights. But that's just me. You know, there was an interesting story called the Mad Minute. I guess it was a drill back in the day. The British soldiers would shoot 20 to 30 rounds in 60 seconds and hit a target at, you know, a couple hundred meters. In fact, there is one story I found here. There's a world record set in 1914 by a British infantry sergeant named Sergeant Snoxall, who placed 38 rounds into a 12-inch target at 300 yards in 1 minute. So that's pretty impressive. And you know, I doubt I can even hit something at 100 yards, but nonetheless, it shows you what this rifle is capable of. The rear peep sight down here is pretty nice because it's smaller than the rear battle sight right here. And then this particular model has an adjustable micrometer from 200 all the way up to 1,300 yards, which is a pretty a pretty you know, overzealous range, I guess you'd say. 1,300 yards. I doubt that the cartridge is still supersonic, but it does shoot the 303 cartridge. In here I have some 5-round stripper clips, and the magazine holds 10 rounds, so 2 of these clips will load the rifle up. And anyways, moving along here, I do have a original World War II sling, khaki color sling. I believe this one was made in 1945. And then at the rear of the rifle, I purchased a new butt stock brass plate from a vendor on eBay. And the reason I did that is the plate that came with this rifle was aluminum, and it was very beat up. You know, just from being set on the ground for all those years. So the brass plate really makes it look a lot nicer. You know, kind of brings the rifle into its own, along with the refinished wood. So that's about it. I guess the only other thing I did is I polished the brass with a little bit of the Blue Magic metal polish, and came out very nicely. One last thing I'll note for you guys is the this recoil pad that I did purchase. You know, the 303 round is a pretty stout round, so having a recoil pad, this one's called the Limb Saver. I believe it came in medium. This is very comfortable to shoot, for example, prone, or you know, after several boxes of the ammo. It just is very comfortable to shoot, so no point in kicking your butt if you don't have to. And then I also purchased this Black Hawk cheek piece, and it fits very nicely on there if you need a higher cheek weld. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions about you know, restoring your own Enfield rifle, please feel free to leave a comment or send me a message, and I'll try to help you out any way I can. Okay, take care.